Sweat Equity Podcast and streaming show. Where am I looking? Right there? Ooh, yeah. We're in cutoffs.
Like right in your face.
It's hot today. We're doing this in Eric's basement.
Heyo.
Sweat Equity Pragmatic Business Entrepreneurial Advice with Dick Jokes, hosted by myself, Law Smith, and Eric Reginger.
Heyo.
Hashtag girthy ROI, hashtag 69B2B. Give that love, you get it back. And hashtag Sweat Equity Pod, sweatequitypod.com. iTunes. We're on iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Laughable app, Google Play, YouTube, Facebook, Vimeo. Sponsored by...
Those fridges with the TVs in them.
Ooh, Samsung.
Probably.
Yeah, probably. We are on, what's the TV one you got us on?
Roku, if you want to see 10 episodes from 6 months ago, because I haven't updated, go for it.
Hey, you Rokuers out there. Roku.
Yeah.
All right.
Roku.
Sponsored by Grasshopper. Try grasshopper.com/sweat. Get $50 off. Getting a business phone line. Don't get it. I had to tell someone this the other night. Don't get a Google Voice number, because if you try to do ad campaigns from that and you try to send it to that number, even if it's on your website, they could shut down your whole Google Voice.
And they're already on to you. They know everything.
So I've had it happen to a client 5 years ago, even though I warned her. But try grasshopper.com/sweat. $50 off. It hooks this show up. If you're watching us, clearly I need a shirt with sleeves. We need
Step
to not
one.
do
Let's
this.
get those sleeves.
Maybe in which
This is the
didn't
office.
even notice,
this is the studio
I didn't
now.
even notice you put up all the foam up here. Good job. Look, I got my head up my ass.
Obviously.
Next sponsor, FreshBooks. Go freshbooks.com/sweat. Get that business direct deposit the next business day. Your business needs a good kind of accounting and transaction software.
Yes, it does.
Hey, man.
You get paid right away with FreshBooks.
I just lashed y'all that our producer is not here today. John Paul was using QuickBooks. What? Go freshbooks.com/sweat. They get it faster to your bank account. I know that as a fact.
Yes.
All right.
Apparently.
Warby Parker glasses, warbyparkertrial.com/sweat. Don't get ripped off by the big Italian company that owns Sunglass Hut, Glasses USA,
Oakley.
Every Ray-Ban, Oakley,
Those bifocals that all the head coaches in the NFL wear.
Yeah.
Are they trying to
what
have
about
like
the
a
ones
who's
that
the most grandma-looking contest?
I like the ones from Friday Night Lights. The offensive coordinator never had lines, but he would put them in the middle with the magnet.
They did. They disconnect in the middle and reconnect.
That's an old Texas old lady thing.
Sweet, yeah.
But I don't know if Warby Parker has that. They are a disruptor where you can get prescription glasses for $95. $95 for prescription. It fits my horse head. It'll fit yours. warbyparkertrial.com/sweat. Hook those up. The other thing we'll ask you to do as a call to action is subscribe, rate, review, tell a friend, tell a loved one. We've got Eric with the incremental coming up. We've got 3XO college football. The studio is on hiatus, and as always, digital services are ready at Tocobaga, TOCOBA.GA. Let's get it started.
What about my sweat equity? Sweat equity.
A little rusty.
Sweat equity. My sweat equity.
First break,
My sweat equity.
2 weeks.
3 years probably?
Yeah.
Sweat equity. What about my sweat equity?
So thank you to the Reginger family for having a studio, makeshift studio.
Yeah, I probably could have got away with it and not told my wife at all. She never comes back here. She had no idea.
What is this normally? What room is this normally?
Daddy's room.
That is super creepy.
Go
And now there's acoustics up too.
back
So
to
it's
Daddy's room
like, yeah,
where they can't hear you scream.
this is like Pulp Fiction with the GIMP mask and
Right.
everything.
This is the office. It's
We're
still
basically
an office.
we're basically softballing up what everybody thinks of Florida that doesn't really come to Florida.
Yeah,
It's a bunch of weirdos and it's hot.
it is definitely hot.
I'm sweating a little bit in here, but we got the dog Polly, guard dog.
Polly's here.
I'm trying not to kick him either. But we are out of the former Sweat Lodge studio. We will find a new home soon. We're trying to figure that out. But don't need to rush into it.
Sad.
Like every move.
Sad.
I mean, I think the writing was on the wall. We were going to move out at the end of the year anyway. In my head.
Yeah, I mean, we couldn't really afford it.
It
would have been
Yes and
silly.
no. It was just one of those things where it's like the area we were in, Bourbon Street, Tampa, is called Ybor City.
They started raising parking rates like out of nowhere. It went from like $1.50 a day to like $6.
And that's normal urbanization. That's normal progress, I guess.
Sure.
I feel like
It made me feel good about leaving. I was like, oh, well, that's happening too.
the parking was getting out of hand. There's 4 buildings being built around our building. And, cash flows are never very good. And I'll admit, like, it's my fault for us getting the boot. But it was clear they didn't want to work with us to keep us in there anyway.
Yeah.
I don't think they loved us doing the podcast studio just because we're always bringing up, other podcasts that may smoke in there.
Right. They might. I don't
Or
know.
friends of the program that come in and want to smoke. There's 2 tattoo parlors up there, so it was kind of like in an office suite of 8. So it was always like, really?
Come on,
what are we
be
doing?
cool. Just be cool.
But, I respect it. I ran into the owner. I said, look, man, it's my bad that this is a kerfuffle. I messed up.
Did you say kerfuffle?
Yeah, I try to use kerfuffle whenever. You never try to fuffle?
Was he like, I'm glad you're gone?
Pretty much. He
Nobody
was like,
talks that
I don't
way.
like this kind of tone you're taking with me, sir. And I was like, why the conundrum, brother? So it was one of those things where it's like, well, we can leg this out for the next couple of months and always kind of be going back and forth, or let's just pull the Band-Aid off now.
And it was fast.
Man, shout out to Henry who helped in the last minutes of
I tell you what, I was
getting
like,
everything out.
I
was
woke
like
up.
dying.
I mean, what time did I hit you up on Slack? I was like, all right, I'm going to come down and help move. And you're like, we're done.
If
like,
he
oh
didn't
my
come down
God,
there,
really?
I would have been stuck. I used to get accused of executive functional disorder or something like that. I gotta look this up.
Uh-huh.
Of like, because I'm not great at like seeing everything when you're moving. Admittedly, I'm not the best at it, but I'm not terrible. Like, I can't picture everything jammed into, like, I can do it like Legos or Tetris and kind of fit everything in, but I can't see everything in a room, jumble it up in my head and go, okay, I know how to pack all this stuff.
Oh, well, I mean, I don't think a lot of people know how to do. I mean, that's you have to see what you got in the situation we were in. We're going up and down stairs. You couldn't just like peek your head out and see, okay, well, the truck is this big.
I found all the saran wrap thingies, all the cool moving stuff I've kept at my place in a closet. I just found the other day. I was like, God.
You unpacked it after moving? Good.
Yeah. Well, I was like, I will have this for the next time I move. Now, here's how bad I have to do it. We were talking about Dad organizing. So we dumped almost everything into your garage, at least all the big stuff. That wasn't electronics that could just fry out in the garage right now in September in Tampa. But what's it called? You've already reorganized. It looks better than when I came with the U-Haul last week.
Oh, yeah. Well, man's got to be able to move around in his garage, So.
It sounds like you're doing like floor to ceiling mirror, just like looking at yourself, doing like Tai Chi or something.
So organized.
Doing some American Psycho.
Oh, I was totally like sweaty dad, like getting all that stuff, hulking it in here by myself. I was like, fuck it, I'm doing it now.
Yeah, there was something super satisfying about getting everything out like an hour before the hard deadline, which basically did it on a Sunday where I already went to the zoo with the kids and was holding one kid at all times.
Right.
Where I had to like change bicep arm deal. Like they're both over 35 pounds.
I've been there. Yeah, you sir are in for some bicep workouts for sure.
Yeah, I haven't worked out since moving.
Why would you? We just got to move again within the next week or so. You'll get fat.
But I did is I was like, okay, this is a good to do this for everything. My car, because I hate how my car is always just crap everywhere. I have to get a system. Someone said if you can look into someone's car and see how organized it is, you can kind of see how organized they are.
Yeah, I've heard that, but at the same time, it's just like
I kind
have
of
a giant
believe
garbage
that.
bag.
I don't buy it with a house of kids, but I buy it especially when I have the kids half the week. There's no reason for me not to clean my car every week.
No, you got. I get a roll of garbage bags, cheap ones. I just keep it in the glove box because I will fill that shit up every time I want to. It's like no problem.
I got the scented office wastebasket ones
Oh,
ready to go.
very
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah. Because there's a lot of juice getting spilled everywhere in the back there. Those
yeah.
kids, they
Just
get,
stuff melts
when they're
into the
done, they just
seats.
throw it on the ground. I'm like, I don't think this is good.
Right.
I don't know how to reprimand this while driving, but I don't think it's good.
Well, yeah, it's either here, Daddy, take this sticky thing I'm done eating, or just throw it on. I'm like, just throw it away from me. I don't want it.
Look, and the patience you carry with that is like the patience you have with clients or employees or your boss sometimes.
Segue.
Hell yeah, that's how we get into business.
Wow.
See, that's fucking smooth. I did stand up Saturday night.
Oh yeah, how'd that go?
Went well. I check this out. Didn't prepare any material.
That I don't know how you do that shit, man. That's crazy.
I think it's my form of like, I don't do any. I'm very risk averse. If you really break down all the actions I do,
Is that your ice bath?
yeah, it is. I think it's like
exhilarating. And
it's like yeah, it's
cleansing.
like it's terrifying.
Yeah.
So, and when you do it a lot, it's not as terrifying because it's not like you do an ice bath a lot. It's not as exhilarating.
Yeah.
Just like anything, it'll wear down, right? It's like a photograph of a photograph kind of thing. But, you know, I'm rusty, and every time I think I can get back up consistently, something personal is like, I gotta focus on this or whatever. It will be nice not to have to, like, there was a lot of office shit I always had to do.
Right.
Even if it was just going in there early for an hour and just cleaning up, just like get going. Just not doing that for a little bit might be nice.
Yeah.
Until hopefully WeWork opens.
Right.
God, I have such a boner for that place.
Yeah.
If you don't know what WeWork is, they're the best at co-share offices. For digital, here's why I get really excited about it. We always need to keep vetting freelancers and finding people because this model, I don't think the digital model works in a small realm where we're at unless you do kind of what I call like variable teams.
Yeah.
So I'm always, whenever we have a client, they go, I need this, this, and this. And I go, cool. Quality, cost, delivery, or schedule, whatever you want to call it. QCD is kind of the formal term, and then flexibility. So QCD and F, right? Just think of everything you do in those constraints.
Right.
Right? What's the quality? Could mean like, what's the actual deliverable?
Right.
How good is, you're going to make a new table? What are you going to use? Or you can just go to IKEA and just kind of work with that.
Well, we'll
That's
jump on.
prefabbed.
We just finished a proposal for a big video proposal, and it was like your deliverables. You're going to tell them you got a 1-minute video here, you got a 30-second teaser clip, you got this and that, and that's what they're expecting for that money.
And so you could file. So everybody worries about cost first in this, and that's understandable. Everybody has to be a bottom line person for their own business. I get that. There's a value part to it that you got to push through in a proposal. That's actually, I have a lot of little things written out, but this actually might be a better kind of topic to go on because I think of everything now after learning this project management thing. We took the advanced personality questionnaire, 2 years ago now, almost?
Maybe, probably it's almost 3.
No.
I don't know.
It was November 2017, I think.
Okay.
I think.
Seems like a long time ago.
Now, all it said was like what you're prone to jump towards.
Yeah.
Like, I had a low project management score. It doesn't mean I can't do it. It just means I don't love it.
Right.
So it might be something I have to trick myself into getting a little bit better at. Because if you really want to scale a business, you have to be better at ops, and you have to be about process. So I was like, okay, that's a reality check. And ever since then, I've like made myself kind of research a little bit more about methodologies. We Agile or Scrum, the Six Sigma, which a lot of people shit on now.
I don't know. What do you mean in that term?
Six Sigma was like a thing that was big in the 80s, I think. 70s, 80s were like a lot of ops guys. It's like getting a certification for being like you're a lean consultant. Okay. And then kind of the word consultant got fucked out like 10 years ago because you could be a Mary Kay consultant and get that fucking sweet light pink Cadillac. Woo! Baby! Yeah. Give me some eyelashes on that.
They're still out there.
Give me some eyelashes on the headlights, man. Tell people.
Be a Lyft driver too.
But I'm saying like
mustache.
That's why I was like, I'm changing Tokabaga to advisory. That sounds better, at least copy wise. Yeah. Than consulting firm.
Yeah.
Advisory and agency. I thought that had a good split to kind of everything going on. At any rate, whatever you're doing, quality, cost, delivery, and flexibility. You're like, I'm gonna dad organize the shit out of this garage.
Yep.
I'm not gonna do it the best.
I'm not paying anybody to do it.
But you're gonna do it for $0,
Right.
or whatever your time costs that day you did it, if you know that shit. But all right, you're gonna do the delivery. Doesn't matter.
Right.
You're flexible, so that F part kind of leaks into there.
Yeah,
Right.
This might not be the best example.
No, but everything. Give me anything
so
you're working on. Give me that proposal.
In that example,
Give me that proposal.
well, in the garage example, it was either
And I'll get back to the Six Sigma thing.
I could either go balls to the wall and address every single thing and go through and like have a place for it, or I could just kind of
Start.
get it organized and get it in one spot and make it so I can walk around. And I was like, all right, that's what I'm gonna do.
So the other
The
thing,
quality of that compared to the time it would have taken, not too tough.
it's a cost benefit. We all do, and I get shit for saying what we do, calling it out. Like, I like using the business terms just to throw it out for myself a lot of the time.
Yeah.
So it'd be like, do a cost benefit of that.
Yeah.
And people are like, fucking nerd, bro.
I know.
And that's where you sound like a Six Sigma dork. Again, those Six Sigma guys, you basically, it used to be a big thing when like, I think it was Honda, Mitsubishi. I forget which one was like crushing it with assembly line that Ford had. And then they took it and they go, we can do it better and we can do it quicker. And basically created like the lean process.
Yeah. I'm going to guess it was Honda.
They
Japanese.
all of the car makers have like their own like ops thing they kind of now market. So I've read one for like almost everybody at this point.
Yeah.
Like but yeah, like the Honda had Acura too, so we talk about that in these case studies I read. All right, Snorefest. But what I'm saying is y'all did a proposal. You're helping John Paul
Rusty.
Tampaniac.
Mm-hmm.
Pictures, tampaniac.com, right?
Yep, Tampaniac.com.
So
Hit us
Tampa, Maniac, Tampaniac, merge it together.
Not the best. We know.
They'll remember it now. It's got sticking power.
Yeah, I hope so. That was the idea originally. I guess Tocobago was the same way, but
Yeah. I was like, it had roots. I wanted something 100% unique, and it wasn't even that. But because there's like
I know. And then
Cigar
like
City
2
Red
weeks,
Ale.
2 weeks later, his beer's plastered.
Everyone's like,
Tocobago all over it.
does this have anything to do with the beer? You're like, no. This is an Indian tribe.
No, those
that-
assholes stole it from me.
Well, there's Tocobaga disc golf. There's Tocobaga something else or other.
CBD oil,
There's
probably.
like a magazine.
Toco coin.
Calusa Brewing. That was the language they spoke, Calusa.
Oh.
It was the Indian tribe that was here in Tampa Bay before the white man
Yes.
came. That's where that story doesn't become very cool. When
I
you're a
know.
white guy telling you.
I know. We've had many meetings where we're just like, and then,
But
here we
after
are.
I give that brand world story, and then it honestly sticks with everybody. They stop calling it Taco Works or,
Yeah.
they'll remember it a lot better. And it shows effort went into it, not just like, oh,
Right. We the best.
Golden
advisory.
Retriever Industries.
What else is in this room?
Yeah. Stretch.
Yeah.
What are those?
Mad Money. What? The resistance bands? Resistance bands advisories.
All right. So y'all did a proposal, and you're helping John Paul with his everything that's not behind the camera kind of stuff.
And the behind the camera stuff.
Well, I mean, like right now.
Right now, yeah. It was
Which I think is cool.
admin.
You go, I have this time when we're in this kind of weird period where we're trying to figure out where we're going to go next. And it's just like, well, let's build out both my place and your place, and we'll just have two kind of makeshift studios.
Yeah. Well, John Paul's he's in a spot where I'm sure a lot of entrepreneurs
He needed more room.
Right. Well,
he needed like a retreat.
It's one of those. He's kind of hit his ceiling just in terms of capacity, just because he can only do so many things, and then to be able to get to the next level, the stuff that he needs to do, he doesn't have time for, or the want or whatever. But he needed somebody else to come in and help him.
Yeah, and now you've got a lot of experience doing this crazy world of digital, which you find out, oh, I have to do the offline stuff with them too now.
Yeah.
And when you were starting to learn a bunch of this stuff and work in the office, I was like, look, I wanted to just do advertising online, and I just wanted to do that. And then
it's all interconnected.
And then you have to go back, and then you have to go backwards and backwards. You're like, do you have a game plan?
Right.
Have you written anything down on a piece of paper?
Right.
I'm like, no.
So my ads are going to your shitty website.
So how do I do this? Like,
can I change some things on here real quick? Just real quick.
I'll do it, and I'll churn, and you'll be mad at me because you won't see results quick enough, and blah blah blah. And I'll show you why that doesn't work. At any rate, you got the flash crash course, whatever, and becoming a small business consultant just by seeing no one can do every part of the business. How about that?
Right.
No matter what business it is.
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to do the legal and the accounting, the actual work.
Yeah.
If you can, you're probably a freak, but like at the same time, almost everybody has to find those vendors. So number one rule for like trying to get your shit together, if you're in this kind of, you got your hustle going, it's your main source of income, or it's the thing you want to do, just know you can't really do it by yourself, honestly.
Right. Yeah, it's insane.
I'm not saying you need fucking everybody around you to hold your hand. I'm saying like,
dude, it's just a matter of like shit slips through the cracks. There's so many things you have to think about.
Get people in their best QCD, right?
Right.
Or I'd like to say in shorthand, just get everybody at their best dollar per hour you can get them at.
Right. Well, it's like, with my wife in the dental practice,
My wife.
there's often times where it's like, okay, I could probably learn how to do this stuff, or like this could be my small job, whatever you want to say. Say it's getting rid of medical waste, which I couldn't actually do, but we have a guy that comes and does that because it's worth it for whatever it is, $80 a month for them to come do that rather than our time to go figure it out on our own.
Yeah.
So
and it seems par for the course because you looked around at what everybody kind of does. This guy's like,
yeah. And
he hops around like a pool guy.
Right. And there's also stuff that's worth it for me to do. We don't need to pay somebody to do stuff,
The biggest thing I told someone yesterday, I was like, do you track your time? Man, you do that for a week. If you do it for a month and you do it diligently, it doesn't have to be like fucking every 6 minutes like an attorney. But if you can kind of go back at the end of the day or every morning, just go back through the day before and go, okay, what did I do? I use the Timely AI app. If I'm on top of that, man, that will show you. If you really go, okay, on Saturday, Sunday, I'm going to really take a minute and kind of take that analysis in of where I spend my time.
Yeah.
And lately it was just like a lot of running around doing bullshit because our cash flow sucks so bad. So it was like, well, thank God it gets a little easier in that front without having an office cost. But like, it's one of those things where it's like I was spending a lot of time chasing bad deals and getting back into bad habits. I was like, I'm doing this trail I see of my time going to business development, and half of it's good and half of it's not very good right now.
Right. Yeah. It's crazy, man. There's a lot of lessons we've learned, haven't we?
Yeah, but
crazy.
That's the thing is like, it's just when you think you're like the best at MMA. I look at it like MMA. MMA is kind of great because like you can be a badass at jiu-jitsu, but you probably suck at like wrestling or judo or something else, boxing. And so like no one's awesome at every thing, right? No one's like, I'll go to the Olympics and I'll get a gold or a podium in every martial art.
Right. But they do know how to defend against whatever, they'll learn a little bit about something.
Use your strength.
And I'm thinking.
Know your weaknesses. Know you're not a wrestler.
Exactly.
Right? You'll get pinned.
Right.
Or whatever. I don't know MMA, so it's probably bad
to
go that way. But
no, I mean, that's perfectly fine. You learn wrestling defense, so the same way that like.
Or the way they set up any fight video game in the 90s, like Street Fighter. Like everybody had their thing.
The little bars.
Everybody had like.
What do they?
Yeah, you've got an open weakness on every character, every video game character. Mortal Kombat, same thing.
Yeah.
One of my favorite, Samurai Showdown, Neo Geo. Where everybody had a weapon.
Who had one?
No. It came out on SNES way later, but everybody, it was just like Street Fighter, but everybody had a weapon that you could use at some point, and then everybody had an animal that would help you fight if you knew the code. Samurai Showdown.
Well, so just
when anybody says I'm too cool,
yeah,
I've heard like people are like, yeah, but you party and stuff. I'm like, I don't think I think I look like I party a lot.
I know.
I'm like, I fucking played the SNES Samurai Showdown for hours by myself.
So
A game no one else played.
Did you have a Neo Geo?
No.
Okay.
They started having Neo Geo games like on the cartridge for N64 or SNES or whatever.
Okay. I just want to meet somebody who's had it. Let's go back to the MMA
I knew a
metaphor.
rich kid that had it.
We're talking about defense. You don't need to learn everything, obviously, but if you have opportunities to kind of follow along with things and have, a little bit of knowledge about stuff, because at the dental office, we're getting new computers. We
Right.
got an IT guy,
So what's the quality cost delivery on that?
Right.
Literally, there's delivery.
Yes.
And installation and stuff. So you have a schedule. That's the schedule. When's it coming in? When are we up and running? What do I need to know as the
Exactly.
pseudo IT guy?
Right, exactly.
Right? So you got to think ahead.
So that's what that's my point, is that like I was there just being like, I'm just watching you so that in case something goes bad, I need to be, and it's just like,
Buddy,
we're
I
hiring
can't
you.
wait from a year from now where you're doing what I'm doing and writing workflows and shit, like drawing
Oh,
out
I'm already-
arrows and
oh, no,
stuff like
it's
a
already-
fucking nerd.
I would have, that shit would be in the books by now if my wife was more enthusiastic about it, but I've been pushing
Whoa.
because I was like,
Throwing shade.
well, I mean, it's
Let's
just,
bring her in.
she's actually on her lunch break. Well, it's just the first year, we got so much shit going on. It's hard to like nail down workflow stuff and all that.
Yeah, and I know y'all have lamented about the problems will change, right? The way you handle it and absorb everything, right?
That's
I realize
Great
like
advice.
it's like everything. It's with kids too. Your kids, like if everything's a 10, you're fucked,
Yeah.
right? And it's gonna fuck them up.
Right.
Same with your business. If everything's like a fire alarm, you're not doing it right.
You can't live your life scared
Right.
that this thing is gonna, loom over you all your life, and it's like, okay, well, that's taken care of, but what about this big thing?
Right.
It's like you're just making these things. It's like none of these problems in business are killing people. Like literally, people aren't dying from business problems unless you get in with the mob or something weird.
I do feel like I'm like gonna get a heart
Well,
attack.
well,
if I
maybe
go at
you-
this clip.
Maybe you might get murdered, but
Murder
most
myself.
of the time, yeah.
Murder, death, kill.
Haha. But it's always like people don't ever think about the actual consequences. Okay, so let's say your business fails. What is actually going to happen?
I want to let that
People
rate
will
out.
feel sorry for you. You won't be humiliated. I mean, you might feel humiliated, but nobody's going to be like, "Oh, look at this piece of shit." Like, it's not like that ever.
So
Most
what
of
do
the
you
time
think
people are-
the
nice.
percentages of small businesses fail? I know we've looked this up before. I always thought
in
3
what time
years.
period?
I thought 3 years was the was like the standard when you're talking about this stuff. I've got give me first year, second year, fifth year, 10th year.
Oh, so it's going to break it down.
Obviously, the percentage will get higher.
Uh-huh.
So give me, what do you think small business fail first year?
I'm going to say 40%.
20.
Okay.
So you're pessimist, always a
Okay.
pessimist.
All right. So then what's the next one?
Their second year.
So it's going to go up. So maybe 35 now.
So 30.
30.
5 year is the one that everybody kind of uses now is like, kind of when you're talking about this, or I hear business podcasts talking about fail rates. So 5 year, this is according to Fundera, which is probably pulling from something else. And they probably declare small business under 10 million revenue a year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's kind of we don't have like a set term for small business. It should be like, we're in the micro nano area. We're
Mhm.
local. But 5 years, what do you think?
5 years, I'm going to say it goes down to 20.
Yeah.
There's gonna
it
be-
actually would make that it's 50% if you start from
Okay,
the
so
beginning.
it's still going
but
up.
You're right.
But like I'm
I
just
know- I know
thinking
what you're saying.
the longer you go, the less likely it is to fail. So there's going to be a tipping point to where it starts,
Yeah.
the fewer of them are failing.
I know what you're going for.
Yeah.
The difference was 20. We just said it a different way. But yeah, 5 years, right? So like, look, y'all are already in the black, right?
Oh, yeah.
So first off, that's amazing
Yes.
for any small business.
Yeah.
And y'all took a big boy. You have two entities essentially. You have the practice and you have the building.
Yeah. Yes.
And you know,
It's on liabilities.
yeah, and how your boy that we had on the CPA, that was like the best guest of all time,
Scott
who
Nelson.
lit it up. He lit it up in the 2-minute warning, and then was like, "Oh man, I could keep going." We're like, "You just started."
I know.
We were just, come on,
Yeah.
Scott. I hope he doesn't listen.
Even if he does, he's
Even if he
a good
does,
sport.
hey, he's welcome back anytime. I'll always look anybody like that. I'll always take advice that he's not a corny on TV like attorney or CPA that's like
Saul
trying to
Goodman.
do something. Yeah, trying to do something shady. He'll come on, drop some knowledge. It's up to us to make it entertaining.
Yeah.
70% of small business owners fail in their 10th year of business. Look, it's not good. The likelihood is you will fail.
Yeah.
I have plenty of times.
Right.
I consider my inability to get the studio still there small failure. But one rule we used to have in my house was you get to sulk about it for a night, and then you got to wake up and get going.
Yeah. I mean,
And I kind of like that rule. I kind of
Right.
still live by that.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah, it's weird, man. It's just like, you know, what are we us being sad? What's that gonna do?
It
Like,
does
fuck
nothing.
I got that audio foam out, and I got my stapler, and I went to fucking
I do-
town, and
I-
I got in trouble for doing it, but I did it.
I do think pity can be good because it's like your own form of shaming. As long as you're not walking around like, oh, here's how I got
What's
fucked,
the
guys. Like
point?
everybody that has been like, dude, that sucks. You guys are out of there. I'm like, it's my fault. That's what I'll tell them every time.
Mm-hmm.
I've
That's
been-
what I
I've
told
been
him, too.
ki-
It was your fault.
It is. It's fine.
Newsflash, asshole!
That
Look,
one's a double entendre.
I will make more good decisions than bad, hopefully. But it's one of those things where, you know, my trajectory, personal, professional, has been like two or three steps up and one or two back, and it'll be
That's
like
how it
that
is
for a little bit
yeah,
longer.
that's how
But
everybody has to do it.
marginal gains. If you can take away anything from this episode of us just kind of, you know, knocking the rust off, is like, it's a slog. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. It's you're gonna have, and you're gonna think shit happens in threes where bad things happen. It's just coincidence, or
Right.
you're just trying to
I know, it's so
get these
cute.
things
You
to
think
be
it's only gonna happen.
coupled.
You're only gonna have 3 bad things happen.
Right.
That's hilarious.
If you want to do it that way, that's fine. If that's how
It's
you
like
roll.
33s.
But just know that like you could have 5 bad things, and you have to
Yeah.
remember after that how you got out of the worse than that time
Yeah.
from that one big thing or
And
whatever.
when you don't have all these bad things, take a minute and appreciate that shit.
And go look. You need a therapist. BetterHelp. They're not a sponsor, but I used them at one point. I liked it. It was good to talk to somebody when I thought I didn't have enough time.
What was that? Is that the online one?
That's the video one. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's another one I can't remember off the top of my head. I'll bring it up next episode. But if you are in that kind of I don't kind of zone, like do something like that. Call a mentor. I proactively call a lot of other business owners, agency owners to go, hey, what are you dealing with? Even when I have nothing going on.
Yeah.
You know, I want to let them vent.
Oh, okay. You got anything else?
I got a lot of stuff, but we're cut off for time, man.
All right, buddy.
Yeah.
What about my sweat equity?
SweatEquityPod.com.
Sweat equity. Sweat equity. My sweat equity. My sweat equity.
Oh.
What about my sweat equity?